son?
Oh.
We're live on
Recently received a letter saying he needs a doctor's note because of how many days he's missed, even though 4 of those days were missed because the bus came ridiculously early. And he's obliged to assume $150 for the appointment and they ride to and from the doctor. So the doctor can say confirm, but until it happens, this note from his father will suffice.
Jesus. Did you ever go to sleep?
Yeah. Went to sleep for about 4 hours.
I can drink on Twitch, can I? Yeah, other people do.
Yeah, you can. You can smoke weed on Twitch if you wanted to.
Really?
Yeah. As long as where you live at.
Close to a quick.
Did you try touching my dick?
I'm just trying to push booger. Ooh, damn it, red and click. It's so close to it. When he gets the energy, he can reach over. It's carpet. That's a little harder to do on the carpet.
Or did you just reach back?
There it is.
This is going to be a very lazy podcast today.
Oh, wow, I'm so tired.
Good thing we're talking about tabletop gaming. We'll talk about D&D about halfway through, so that it can really, we can, if it starts kind of veering off there, kind of getting in the lazier side of it, then, that could pick up the energy again, because D&D though. But we can't focus on it too much, because eventually I want to do a podcast on games, on D&D's specific influence on games, because of how it basically inspired most video games, a lot of them at least. So, there's that. Alright, look at that gut. Look at that gut on this guy right here on the left.
There we go. I don't know why I'm so tired.
I'm gonna need you can lay back, but I need you to lay back this way, facing this way.
Yeah.
They're making... hold on, I gotta...
Hey, T-Flop! What? You say they're having a friends reunion?
Yes.
That's all.
That's all.
They're all making like over $1 million per episode. For the episode.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
For one episode, all of them are making like over $1 million something.
Eventually we'll be there, boys. One day we're just making $1 million per episode. No, I don't think any podcast makes that much per episode. I don't know if they make $1,000 per episode. Well, they might, because Lore makes a lot of fucking money. Yeah. It depends on their sponsor, and I've seen the way that a lot of the sponsorships work, because there's a website you can go to sign up and get some sponsorships. It's basically like if you say it this many times for this long and blah blah blah, and it depends how many viewers or listeners or whatever you have, whatever you're doing, are listening to that part. So say we put an sponsored ad in the beginning of the podcast, and we have just in the future like 1,000 people listening. And they listen to that, and it's like $5 per like every 100 people or something like that. Just that's a lowball one, but still, that would be like $50, but still.
Yeah.
That's a lowball one though. Most of the time it's like $100 per like 100 people, but it's not like it doesn't go to like $1 per person. It's specifically $100 for every 100 people. So stuff like that.
I know XQC or whatever leaked out one of his.
Oh yeah, one of his deals. I saw that recently.
Yeah.
I saw that he got hit with a lot of money too. It's like $10,000 for like, and he has to say it like 3 times, talk about it like 3 times a stream or something.
Yeah. Like all he has to do is just have it on the second monitor.
I know. I don't get why people do that. Like why?
I don't know.
That stuff happens all the time on Twitch. I don't get it.
What is it?
When
you can't see your second monitor or your third.
Yeah, when someone like accidentally leaks a deal or something like that from their Discord because they closed something and it's up in the background. It's like, I know you got second and third monitors sitting around there. Like, you could have those on any number of other monitors. Like, there's no reason to have it up in the background.
Yeah, I mean, there's also been some people that got caught saying stuff they shouldn't on their Discord.
Yeah, like
And it was only their Discord was only open for like maybe a second, but
like,
someone goes back, clips it.
like that
looks
Jenna
at it.
girl.
Yeah.
She's not partner anymore because of it.
Yeah, they went pretty hard on that one.
Mm-hmm. Because everyone saw it. And she was like being hardcore racist. And she was like, well, that was from a time before I was better and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, no, if you're racist, you're racist, bro. Like, I'm not saying completely because there's Daryl Davis, the black dude who's going around and, like, converting KKK members and stuff like that. Just because a lot of them have never had personal interactions with black people. They just were born into the KKK and shit. And he's there was like a Grand Master or Grand Dragon or whatever the fuck they're called that straight up he like converted him and he quit and everything like that and gave Daryl his robes and everything. And Daryl like travels around with all these robes and shit that he's gotten from him, basically talking about it and stuff. And then here we are with people trying to accuse him of being like a Nazi and shit. Straight up. I'm telling you, man, this world's fucked up, bro. There's people out there straight trying to call this man a Nazi. And I'm sitting here like, that's the exact opposite. He's literally bringing people together. He's going into the mouth of the dragon and coming out fine. Like, and coming out bringing people together. What's the problem with that?
It doesn't really matter what you do. If you're trying to be good at something, you're bad at something.
I know, man. Like, you see where PewDiePie came back?
No, I saw you put something on it.
PewDiePie came back, man. He makes a video, makes a couple jokes about the coronavirus, puts a bunch of those masks on because he'd ordered a bunch because he just came from Japan that also has the coronavirus going around and stuff. So obviously he had some and stuff, and he ordered a big box of them. Anyways, so he's putting them on and making jokes about it and stuff like that. There's an article already that's like, PewDiePie's back and he's back to his usual antics. And he made a joke about coronavirus and then he, what is it, and he puts on the masks and says some Chinese words, but they don't really make sense, but still he's mocking Chinese. Here's the thing, they're racist because what he said was Japanese words, because he came from Japan. And he said Japanese words. So they're racist for assuming that the Asian that he spoke, the Asian language that he spoke was Mandarin Chinese. And I was sitting there like, how stupid can you be? You're trying to accuse someone else of being racist and making yourself look racist. Like, I was like, that's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Alright. So, ground rules. Tabletop games. I'm not going to put cards in this one. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, there's enough card games that digital card, like if we ever do a genre-based stream.
Real fast though.
Yeah. If we ever do a genre-based stream, I was like, we could do digital card games and stuff like that, and we could just kind of talk about real-world card games that we play as well in that. Bring in the candy. You say fat? But so, we're not talking about card games in this one, even though some people would consider them tabletop games. And I do too, to a point. But if I talk about digital card games, we don't play enough that if we ever have to talk about that, or we ever do talk about that topic, to give us some more stuff to talk about, we could talk about some real-world card games as well. So, we'll do its own thing on that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like my main.
I feel it. Time to do it.
Fuck, I went too hard in the paint.
Drinking a little too much lean today, huh? Alright. I'm telling you, man, if it gets to where we're making a little money off this, we gotta like rent some kind of space or something. Cause this is, I was talking to him about it, about like my backup plan for all this, if this doesn't work, is just try to save up some money, get a business loan, and get a small like area, like small building or something like that, small strip mall like thing, and just open up a game shop, because I've always wanted to do that. But then it got to a point in my life where I was like, no, I want to stream and stuff, I want to entertain and stuff like that, so I want to do that. But the original plan was to do that, so it's my backup now. And he was saying that if I did that, I could still stream from that, and like stream D&D games like that from there and stuff like that. So eventually I want a space like that anyways. So, but now if we get big enough and we start branching off into other podcasts and stuff like that, that's when we look at like going Rooster Teeth route.
Well, could we do like a Super Smash Bros. Tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Like someone like first place would go in like $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like if you want a chance to enter, it's like $5, something like that.
Critical partnered with someone, and he's putting on his own online Super Smash Bros. Tournament, $20,000 tournament. But he partnered with someone for that. But it came from a plan of him just doing it himself and like putting like $5,000 into it, and then they partnered with him and like, what about $10,000? And he was like, okay, and then he announced it, and then now he's put out a new video just today being like, all right, it's $20,000 now. So I guess some people are getting into it.
Because if you ever did come out with like your own place, then just have like a big tournament thing like that, just to kind of get people in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
So.
I don't like these, like, we got a good card shop here in Russellville, but the only thing I don't like about them is they don't do anything like that, anything creative or anything. They just do the tournaments and stuff there and everything. I'm sitting there like, why not stream it? They stream card tournaments. Final Fantasy's just streamed its like world championship last night with their card game.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here like, fucking set up some cameras. Just set up a bunch of cameras and, you know, next to every area where someone can play, make them sign a thing that, you know, hey, like, make an area where if they don't want to be, you know, streamed or whatever like that, then have them on this side over here or something that people that don't want to be. But generally, I don't think they would care, really. But, either way, you make them sign a thing, though, if they are on there, you know, that they can't take it back or something. And there you go. You're good. And then fucking stream the tournament. It's as easy as that. Make a little overlay that way you can edit every time someone wins for like a bracket and stuff. Super easy. Alright.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
I'm into it.
Good enough, man.
Damn it, dude. I'm telling you, man, we need the sponsorship, man. They're good. I always like them. I just never buy them.
Talking about peach ring hits different.
Things are good.
Hey-o!
Welcome to the Darksky Gaming Podcast.
Today, we're putting aside the controllers. We're putting aside the mouse and keyboard. We're punching the monitor so we can buy a new one.
Summit.
Shout out to Summit. And we're breaking out the old school games, tabletop games.
Okay.
Welcome.
Can we restart that?
Uh-oh.
I just had an idea.
Oh, well, stop, restart.
Put your D&D dice out, and then at the end I'll roll the D&D dice, and then it can fade into the music.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, man. I wish we could have, like, the camera zoom into, like, the dice rolling. That'd be sick.
I just thought of it. I was just thinking, like, we're doing tabletop board games, and then we'll just have, like, a little...
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Shit.
We'll clear this out a little
I
bit.
just need the D20s. How many D20s you got in here?
5 or 6. More than I need.
Look at this. Look at this. I think that's it. Nope, there's one right there.
Where's a good spot to roll? Out in the open.
Yeah.
I can always move this.
Shit. Sorry, man. And you start.
Yeah, right there in that middle area is fine.
Here, grab the mic and tilt it down.
Okay. Hey-o!
Welcome to the Darksky Gaming Podcast.
What the fuck happened?
God damn it. Today, we're putting aside the controllers, we're putting aside the mouses and keyboard, the mice and keyboard, whatever, and we're punching the monitor to play some old school tabletop games.
Yes. And everything was shit. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
High school was fucking 15.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the laughing.
That could hit.
The laughing is definitely staying in there.
Have you seen that thing?
Because it's pointless. There was no
Speaking
reason.
of the dice, I saw this one thing that was like this bard walked in. He's like, y'all, I'll go into this bar. I was like, do I see anyone mysterious? I'm like, oh yeah, you see somebody. Some guy walks in. He's like, do I see any hot babes in here? He's like, really? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, yes, you see one that's pretty good looking at the bar. He's like, I'm gonna go talk to her. And then he's like, I'm gonna try to sleep with her. He's like, roll some kind of check. And he rolls
Persuasion or something.
Yeah, he's like, natural 20. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, well, she's got a chastity belt, and the rogue's like, I picked a lock.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck?
Everyone's like, oh, let's get this guy laid real quick.
He's going in.
Alright, guys. Welcome to Dark Sky Gaming Podcast. Last week's episode was a solo dolo. It was an episode about the live streaming wars, so if you're interested in streaming or anything like that, or learning about that stuff, it's very informative. Since it was just me, I did more of an informative thing, less of a conversation about that. But if you're interested in it, go check out that episode. It's doing pretty good on YouTube, so shout out to my YouTube guys. So yeah, today we're talking like some board games, man, tabletop games. You know, we're excluding card games for now because we might talk about digital and card games later. It shouldn't be like that.
What is it?
It's like that. I change your category.
Said he's playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Hi. People from Call of Duty want to come over and check us out? Take a break.
It does that when you update it. It doesn't change the category. It's just once in a while.
Or maybe you just forgot to update it.
Maybe. I'm not gonna deny I could have, but
That's probably most likely what happened.
Okay. But yeah, we're talking tabletop games. We're excluding card games and digital card games and whatnot for now. Because later we might talk about that as a genre-based episode or something, and when we do, none of us play a whole lot of digital card games, so if we do that, it's probably going to steer more into actual, like physical card games. So, that's why we're excluding that, but for the most part, I mean, we're going to, any board game, because I know a lot of people out there don't consider board games tabletop games. They're like, no, those are just board games. I'm like, well, they're on a table, bro. But, but I don't know the actual definition of tabletop games, so don't hate me for it. But he's about to look it up.
I'm about to find out.
But, I mean, we could talk from anything from Warhammer and D&D to Monopoly and Sorry and fucking Chutes and Ladders. I don't care. But, hell, we could talk some dominoes if we really want to get into the hardcore stuff, man.
What's it called?
You guys like that pro domino scene, man? I'm telling you, it's rare. It exists. It exists out there. It's underground, but it exists. Have you seen it?
No.
It exists, man.
I mean, I've seen, like, chess and...
A game played on flat surface, such as a board game or card game.
Boom!
There it is.
Get fucked.
Alright. So Monopoly counts, you fuckers. I was about to say a word I can't say on Twitch. Oh. God, this closely. I was like, I'm the reason we're gonna fail. Don't worry, guys.
Well, we knew that.
I don't know. What was your first board game experience? I think we all. Well, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like it's halfway. It's mostly true, probably, that most people have probably played a board game before they played a video game. Maybe not now, in today's generation, but at least, like, I played a board game before I ever played a video game.
Yeah,
I'd seen a video game.
Probably just their phone. I mean,
yeah. So
that's like the first thing they have. I mean,
exactly.
mine was Monopoly or that one. It's like a murder happens.
Clue.
Yeah, Clue. Those were my two favorite like board games that I used to play back in the day.
Were you good at them?
I was pretty good, dude. I could figure it out pretty quick.
See, that's the beauty of tabletop games, man. You don't have to be a skilled like FPS player to be good at it.
You just gotta have lucky cards.
Yeah, that's most of it. Most of it is the RNG, the real world RNG, man. RNGesus. You gotta pray to RNGesus a little bit. I know all about it. So, what was your favorite tabletop game?
Eels and Ladders.
Eels and
Escalators.
Eels and Escalators, yeah.
Escalators.
I'm surprised they didn't release some shoots
I'm
and
sure they
ladders
do.
spin up.
I bet they do.
I feel like they should have. There's a SpongeBob board game that I used to have, and it's really fun.
No, I'm saying I bet you there's one out there or something.
Oh, I feel like there should be.
I bet you there is.
So if it's not a mass-produced thing, someone has made one somewhere. I feel
Yeah, for sure.
like.
Really, I don't remember.
Battleship.
Yeah,
Battleship was
Battleship
hot.
would count.
Battleship was fun.
Played a lot of Battleship. Played a lot of a game called Mousetrap.
I used to play the
Mousetrap
fuck
was
out of
pretty good.
Mousetrap.
Yeah.
My
Where
parents
there's,
hated it because they didn't want to
like
put it up.
100 fucking different pieces.
Yeah. Like I would constantly nag my brother or my parents or whatever. Like, and be like, can we play Mousetrap? Can we play Mousetrap? And they were always giving me that
Fuck
shit. Like, no, no. They'd be like, well, I want to, but it just has so many pieces. Like, yeah, fuck you. That's not what you mean. You just don't want to play, you piece of shit. You lazy shit. But I played Mousetrap. I think that might be the first board game I ever played. Honestly. Now that he brings that up, because I was sitting there, I wasn't thinking about it. It was that, or there was a firefighter board game where it also had a lot of pieces that you had to set up and stuff, and they had these tubes that you would put the firefighters in, the little firefighter guys, and they'd slide down it and go whoop, like it sounded cool, like the slide whistle.
Oh, yeah.
Sounded like that kind of.
No, but I did play a lot of Clue. A lot of Monopoly. A lot of
fun.
Sorry.
What are you
Okay.
sorry about? I'm sorry, man, dude. I was waiting for it. I was
Get the
literally
fuck
waiting
out. I don't even care if this is your house. Get out of here.
for it. God damn it.
Some hungry hippos.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Oh, there you go.
Played Empire Builder.
You played Empire Builder when you were a kid?
Yeah, that's that train game
Oh.
I'll tell you about.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Isn't it
Oh,
pretty,
yeah.
That's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be pretty intelligent to.
I'm a smart motherfucker, dude. What you
Okay.
mean?
Hey, I ain't bagging on you. I was just saying. Like, when I was a kid, I wasn't playing smart board games. I'll tell you that.
Raw, I played a lot of Risk, too.
Oh, okay.
Well, you had to know
This
that
was low. Was
my stepdad was the owner of a railroad.
Oh, yeah.
So we played that a lot. But yeah, I played a lot of Risk, too.
That's how he was so good at it. he was playing that game every day with his kids, like, these little fuckers, if these fuckers can beat me, then my company's gonna go under. So every day he was
But
fucking in there.
yeah, I played a lot of that. Which it's if y'all didn't know, it's like a railroad tycoon kind of game where you build tracks and shipment stuff, try to get money.
Shipment stuff.
Yeah. I'm smart.
There's a lot of... I played... Okay, so the first one I played was probably either that Firefighter one or Mousetrap. But I did play a lot of Shoots and Ladders when I was a kid, and I still like that game to this day. If someone broke out the Shoots and Ladders, man, I'm still pumped for it.
Looks like you got eels again.
Yeah, we gotta play some Monopoly again.
Yeah.
Like the electronic version.
Yeah, you want to tell
I've
that?
got the electronic version.
You want to tell that story of Game of Thrones Monopoly? What happened to us?
Don't buy Game of Thrones Monopoly. It's got some bullshit community chest cards in that.
Chance, there is no community chest on
Same fucking thing.
that. We were playing Game of Thrones Monopoly, and he was winning. He was doing pretty good. He had we were kind of all what everyone does. We were trying to get the dark blue properties, which on there are King's Landing and what's the other one? Is Winterfell the other one on the blue?
I think so. No, it's King's Landing and Dragonstone.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, and so I had one of the blues, he had one of the blues, and then I had 2 or 3, I think I had 3 of the
Yeah,
their
2
version of
greens.
railroads, and
Was that what you traded? I thought we
Yeah.
traded the green.
I traded, the railroads were going to give me the full railroads, and I was like, I'll give you the blue one, and I think some money or something like that for the railroad, and you were like, okay, and when you did it, I didn't do it at first because I thought Taylor had a card similar and was going to basically do the same thing that I was doing to Waldy, but he didn't turn out that way. I ended up playing it a few turns later, and the card basically just said that steal an entire property, like
An entire set property.
an entire set.
So I traded him my good card for another good card. And he just takes that fucking shit back.
Yeah, that's right. And then I had the shit the whole rest of the game, I think, for the most part.
Yeah,
And
because no one else had those fucking cards.
yeah, there was only one. I expected there to be like 2. in there. That way you'd have to be on your toes. Like, if I use this, someone else might have this card. That's what I was worried about. But it didn't turn out that way. There was only one of the card in there. Like, 2 of the cards would make it a little bit more fair at least, because then, like I said, there's strategy to it. You got to think about it a little bit. Like, do I want to use this? What if someone else has it? Should I wait for someone else to use it? And then if you're both waiting for someone else to use it and never use it, you don't ever have to worry about the card. You know, it would at least balance out in some way. But no, there was only one, and I took the whole fucking set, and he was pissed. He didn't like that. He was like, I ain't playing with these fucking cards again.
Take them bitches out next time I play.
That's why I like that regular Monopoly.
Goddamn.
I like the electronic version too.
I still haven't got to play the electronic one yet.
Yeah, I've never played
It's
the
so much
electronic
funner. Or, ain't funner, it's just easier. You don't have to worry about money. You just give them a card and they click it and type in how much you
Is
have.
it like your credit card and stuff?
Yeah. It's got a little machine you stick your card into, type in how much you want, click it to either take it away or give it back.
Oh, I played that one. I was talking about like the Xbox. or
Oh,
PC
Monopoly
version.
Plus. Yeah, we're gonna have to. We got
I almost bought that the other day.
I can buy it right now. I have the money right now.
I
so
bought Live.
if we're gonna do that shit, we need to do that.
I bought the game Live the other day.
Eventually, when I got the money for it, I'm gonna buy the entire Jackbox Party Pack collection, and we'll have to come over and do a stream, like set a few chairs in front and everything, and stream that with like the viewers and stuff, because they get to vote on shit and stuff
Oh, really?
on some of the games, some of the newer ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Did you know that?
I know they got those one games. What's it called? Quiplash?
Criplash, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
dude,
know what that is.
those are funny. I mean, like, there's like a stream version, and there's like a version you play with your friends. Like, you probably get away with a lot more stuff than streaming it.
Oh yeah.
Because it can get bad. It can get real bad.
If your community's not, no offense
I'm
out there,
talking
but if
about
you're-
us.
yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about our friends. You can't stream that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ow.
like us three, we could do it just fine.
Yeah.
But it would have to have another version where we would stream that.
You're talking about my friends.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know. I've experienced your friends at this point.
No, that wasn't even.
Yeah,
That wasn't even.
that was a different side of the. That
That was
wasn't
a
our
different
main-
side. You were
Yeah.
missing the
Was
two.
that your casual friends right there?
No.
No, they're kind of random.
The casual friends are worst.
The casual friends are worse.
Yeah,
Jesus.
the ones I went to high school with.
Those are the ones that we played the racing game and stuff with.
Okay.
The reason why I won't stream when I'm playing with them. Because we always have so much fun. Like, I'm laughing the whole entire time. Like, we're racing and stuff like that. Can't stream it because I know someone's going to slip up.
Somebody's gonna say something.
Yep.
Somebody poison the water hole.
Yeah. Quiplash. We'll definitely have to do Quiplash.
Is it like Cards Against Humanity?
The thing is say it'll say make a T-shirt, or it'll say like finish the sentence or whatever.
It is kind of
Then,
like Cards Against Humanity, but you
yeah.
come up with your own answer. You don't pick.
Yeah, or you could draw stuff, or dude, it's so funny. Like
And,
you have to watch people play it.
Yeah, and they have a version of it where if you're a streamer, the viewers can vote on the best answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
But-
that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah, I'm into that.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. Achievement Hunter, all them do it too.
I got hyped that one up ahead of time, that stream though. That way we can get some people in the chat. Even if it's just like 5 or 6 people, it's still better than like maybe on the days where I have like 2 people in the chat, because then it's 2 people voting for the answers, and that's
Critical Role did it.
Yeah.
Critical Role did Quiplash or whatever. It's good. I don't know. You'll just
they had a lot of people voting.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because like the people that are playing can vote, and they get like a big majority of like how much vote goes into something. But if you have like 6,000 people watching and 6,000 people vote for a different person, you can win just based on the audience voting on you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then
And it
everybody-
shows what like you guys vote for too.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I think computers are good for tabletop games in that way, because they have like tabletop simulator and stuff. For those people that don't necessarily, like, they might live somewhere where they just don't have the room to have a bunch of board games or something, or tabletop games or whatever, or they don't have the money to get all that stuff. Tabletop simulator is like what, $20, and then you download whatever mod for whatever game,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
It's
So
pretty cool because you can flip the whole fucking table.
yeah,
The
you can
table just spin up there.
you can interact with far more than the game on there. I've seen gifs of people accidentally like hitting the table on there and be like,
it's
"Fuck!"
just Dude, it'll flip the whole fucking table. We're like, damn it!
They're just like, "Fuck it," and quit the game. God damn it. See, Did you guys ever play the Jurassic Park 3 board game? I know that's oddly specific, but that Jurassic Park 3 board game, I had it when I was a kid, and that was fucking fun. Like, it was a big, wide board, and you started at one end, basically, and you tried to make it to the plane at the other end over here. And you played as different characters, but if you played as... Well, one, people could play as dinosaurs. Two, if you played specifically as the kid in Jurassic Park 3 that gets lost or whatever, or that is lost, Adam, maybe, is his name? I can't remember. I haven't seen it in forever. If you play as him, there are special conditions for you and stuff like that. Like, you have to take a different route and all kinds of stuff. And you also interact more with the Spinosaurus. I know it has a technical name on there, but that's what everyone called it when I was growing up, was the Spinosaurus, the big T-Rex thing.
I still think that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I call it too. That's why everyone calls it, I'm pretty sure, but I know just a lot of people, I know there's some people out there that are like, actually, that's called a blah, 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 blah in the movies. They just don't call it that.
Shut the fuck up, you nerds.
Jesus Christ. There's some really good, like, movie and TV show board games, though. I used to play a Pokemon board game, and this one was a ridiculous amount of setup, because there's 150 Pokemon in the first generation, and this game came after the first generation. So there's a big board, and on the board, it'll have, like, sections of, like, blue, green, red, yellow, and it's, like, stands for the types, kind of, loosely. Some fall in other ones because they didn't do it for every type. But, and you would take these little circle tiles that had the Pokemon on it and the number on it, like its Pokedex number, and you put it down, face down, and you mix them up and stuff like that, and then put them down randomly face down on their color zones and stuff like that. And you go through them, whichever one you land on, you get a chance to capture it, kind of like Monopoly in a way, except you can only get a team of, 6 or so, like you can in the video games. And you make it all the way around this board, and, get your shit ready, your items ready and stuff like that, because you get item cards and cards of, like with support and stuff like that. And you get to the Pokemon League, basically. And at the end, and or it's not the Pokemon League on here, it's the Indigo Plateau, which is based in the second season of Pokemon. But anyways, that's some nerd stuff right there. But basically, though, you sit there and go to a Pokemon League, and then you use your Pokemon to fight these champion, like, Pokemon and stuff like that. And the first one to get there and do that and stuff wins. And you can fight each other, as, like, if you land in the same space with each other and stuff, and there's certain cards that you can challenge other players and stuff. It was really sick. It was a really cool board game, and they also had one for the second, or the second generation, not second season, but second generation of Pokemon as well. And that had even more Pokemon, so I can only imagine what that board looked like. But that did have a lot of setup, because you had to mix them up, and you have to sit there and place each one on these circles, and it's ridiculous, but it was very fun. It was a long one. That was one of the ones you sit there and you play for 2 or 3 hours. Like, you don't play that one any short amount of time at all. Were you guys ever good at, like, just chess and checkers, though?
Yeah.
Just to take it back to some, like,
Checkers.
OG tabletop games? Checkers?
I never learned
Chess.
Yeah, because I didn't know, because some were like, you can only move, like, 8 this way, or, like, 5 this way. I never learned it, so I just stuck with checkers.
I was pretty decent at chess.
I just never learned it. Checkers is where I was at.
Chess was really big in my school for a while, which was weird because we had a lot of jocks and stuff in our grade. But we had, like, nerdy jocks, like they were still into video games and shit like that, and just different things like that. I say that, it seems like everyone just generally in Arkansas is kind of into both things, but I know, like, the stereotype is you can't be both. But in our school, we had a lot of people who did both, and checkers was a really big thing for a while. Like, it was genuinely impressive to each one of us if you were good at it. Like, if you could beat certain people in the grade at chess, I said checkers, but at chess, then it was impressive. Like, you could get a girlfriend from that. Like, at the time, a girlfriend is, like, 3rd, 4th grade, but still, it was impressive to us. Oh, yeah, I was talking high school. No. Although I think toward the end of high school we did, like, reinstate a chess team, but it wasn't my grade. I think it was one under us or something. But chess was a big deal in elementary at my school. Dude, we had miniature chess boards that you could take with you, like portable ones and stuff, with, like, little glass cases, and it was pretty crazy.
We played a lot of Uno stuff at our school. That was
Really?
good. Uno was, yeah, we played a lot of Uno.
Okay.
Especially because, at the end of the year or whatever, I mean, we get most of our work done. So a lot of classes, we just either watch a movie or play card games and stuff like that. We always played a lot of Uno.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was pretty into Uno.
Freaking Uno, dude.
Uno,
That's
Uno,
good.
it's like Monopoly. It'll break up some. You
Oh,
can
man,
lose some
it's-
friends over Uno, bro.
So, like, people got mad over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
It's a bad
Fucking
thing,
love it.
man.
Yeah.
It's like Mario Kart, man.
Yeah.
Three things that can break up a true friendship, no matter how deep the friendship is.
Mm.
Mario Kart, Monopoly, and Uno. You get too competitive with those games, it's over.
Well, Uno, they kept getting pissed or whatever because, like, say my buddy is, like, on the left or right side or whatever, like, I'll skip it and, like, let them go again, then
There
I'll
you go.
skip it and let me go.
Yeah,
Skip it right back.
that's how you keep your friends until it gets to the end there, though, and when you just gotta go. Somebody's gotta.
Yeah, that's when I just take
Sooner or later, it's gotta get to a point that one of you needs less cards than the other, and you gotta be like, all right, so you're getting low on the number over there, bro.
Yeah.
I kind of gotta fuck you because I still want to win the game. Yeah,
What?
I mean literally and figuratively, but the literal one happens.
Pull your
later.
pants down, because it's a draw 4.
God
You
damn.
get fucked 4 times.
God damn. You're playing with 5 people. That's perfect.
Well,
That's perfect.
Yeah, until it's every person has a draw 4.
right
Oh,
back
man,
to you.
everybody's getting
And then-
fucking. Oh yeah,
No.
you fucking hit that. Hit that.
That motherfucker starts stacking.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You never stacked
It's
them?
just an orgy, man.
It's like I lay a draw 4, and then you got a draw 4, and then he's got a draw 4, and then he's got a. By the time it gets back down to you, you don't have another draw 4. You're fucking drawing 26 cards.
Oh
Yeah. Did you ever play it like that? Stack?
Yeah, we stacked it. I don't think that ever happened to me though. Like
Oh,
it
it's
happened to us.
fantastic.
We
where-
never done.
where it got
I've
that
seen
bad.
like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah. It gets fucking
I
crazy.
saw like 2 in a row.
Because, like,
most.
someone will play it and you're like, ooh, then all of a sudden someone else will play it and you're like, oh, it's getting closer to me.
And then he's like, ha ha, you got, you got.
It just keeps coming closer to
fuck.
Like,
No.
you just fucking look, you're like, you double check, you look through all your cards, you're like, fuck. You look through them again just in case. And,
I mean, I don't know
fucking
how.
jaw of it.
Did you try to put this in his hands?
No. There you go.
All right.
Bitch!
there goes the die, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the one we're all here for. D&D.
It's D&D. You roll the
Dynamite.
dice.
That was pretty good. Did you come up with that just now, or is that something you heard? All right.
I mean, I may have heard it. I don't know, but I just thought of it.
It's like I want to
if
own
not,
it, but
we gotta claim it. We gotta claim it for our next.
God damn it, we gotta
TM
stop, we gotta stop.
dot.
We already
Just take
claimed
that
it.
out.
Oh yeah.
Except for the trademark.
Just so they know something right there is trademarked and. But I think most people nowadays, when you talk about a tabletop game, if you don't specifically say board game, if you say tabletop game, I think a lot of people are gonna immediately think of tabletop RPGs, and they're gonna go right the fuck to D&D. I know a good number of people who would go to Pathfinder probably first before the D&D, just because that had its era like of popularity, because D&D 4th edition wasn't good, so people were playing Pathfinder because Pathfinder was the equivalent of D&D 3rd edition. But now we have 5th edition, and we have a show called Critical Role. We don't have it. Don't let me lie to you. We don't have it. But it is a
They
show.
want us to
We
join.
would not be in
Hey,
this room
Matt-
doing a podcast
Matt-
if we owned it.
Matt, can you hear me?
If you want
Can
us
you-
to join, hey, we're
He
here.
didn't pick up. He didn't pick up the phone that I didn't have up to my ear or anything.
Hello?
Matt?
Matt?
Is that him? It doesn't sound like McCree.
Fucking
But-
Curdy.
Rabbit. Oh. But so I don't know. I don't even know how to begin talking about that. Like begin venturing into that.
I don't know. It's big.
If you don't know, you should know what D&D is. I'm not going to go in detail if you don't know what D&D is. Basically, you create a character. He gets a class like an RPG game or something like that. And if you listen to this podcast, you should at least know what an RPG game is. But you create a class, you create your character, you can create their background, you can go into detail, or you don't have to go into detail. You could just play it pretty casual if you wanted. Someone, your dungeon master or your game master, whatever you want to call them, creates a dungeon or a campaign or a story.
I'm out of juice.
In which you guys
Yeah, I
go...
didn't bring mine. Unless you just give me the whole juice.
In which you guys go and you go on these quests and stuff like that, and
I've been out for a few
you
years.
role play quests. The difference here for the gamers, for the video gamers out there, compared to the those of you that are just tabletop and video games, the difference here is in video games, RPGs, you don't have to role play. You don't have to play the role. It's just called a role playing game because you're playing a specific character. They have a role. And you
It ain't as
you level up and stuff.
when the D&D talks about role play.
It's very little.
You can do anything you fucking want.
Yeah, you are your character. If you want your character to be a fucking mass murdering maniac that hides like behind his like charisma and stuff like that, then you can do it. Now that's obviously if your party has a problem with that, you're gonna have an issue with your party. But it still makes for an interesting time because then at some point somebody's gonna encounter the fact that he's mass murdering people and they're gonna be like, all right, what's going on here? Or you could just play as a, normal paladin, good guy who's, there for everybody and there to help everybody out. Lawful good kind of guy out there. Like, you broke the rules, you need to be punished. That kind of guy. So, it's really interesting. And you roll die, like we did here at the beginning of this episode. You roll some die for your stats and stuff like that, and that's how you, because basically when you do an RPG, when you create a new character, unless it's already got preset stats or something, but a lot of video games, stuff like that, kind of randomize the stats to start with. If you do that, it's doing the equivalent of rolling die in the game. It's random number generator, and you're getting a random number between 1 and this many, and that makes your stats. So it's basically like playing a video game, but on a table, and you can have figures, or you don't have figures. Some people don't. It's just crazy. And there's a show called Critical Role, where it's a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors
who sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons! But, yeah, so it's kind of resurged in popularity, thankfully. But, yeah, so what are you guys' thoughts? We'll start with you, Simphus, over here, because I know he's excited about it too. We'll just go left to right here. What is your what's your thoughts on D&D? Just like, how do you feel about D&D when you like, especially if you think about playing D&D?
I don't know. I mean, at first I didn't think about it because I was like, I play football. Like, you won't catch me playing D&D. But then, like, after high school was over, I was like, it doesn't seem so bad. Then I started watching Critical Role. I was like, alright. I was like, looks fun. I was like, it's just a bunch of friends, like, hanging out, just laughing together. I was like, alright. I was like, D&D looks way different now than, because, like, back in the day, you just thought of just a bunch of nerds playing. Then that was it. But now, it's actually not bad. It looks cool. Then at the beginning, I was a little nervous because I was like, man, because some people might want you to, like, really get into, like, LARPing. Well, not LARPing, but really get into it. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it'd be good if you did a little bit, then, like, slowly work your way up.
Yeah, there are people that play the game for the number side and everything like that, and just for the fighting and stuff, where they don't want to RP, but they just like the combat and stuff, the way the combat rolls. Or it works, so you roll the die and you attack and you get a
it's
natty
fun
20
because
and
like
stuff.
if you roll a natural 20, you're hyped.
Everybody's
you
hyped,
just roll
bro.
a natural 20.
DM's hype. Even if he's trying to kill you as artist, he's still hype, bro. He's real hyped though when you get that natural 1.
Oh, yeah. He's ready to fuck you up.
He's like, oh.
Well, see,
okay.
that's the thing though. It's like because Matt said it like perfect. I can't like I don't know exactly how he said it, but he was like he makes a lot of these like obstacles. And of course, he's trying to kill them, but at the same time, he's super happy when they figure a way around, like how to do something. Like, because he says he thinks of ways for them to do it, but then he said they'll do something completely different that works because it's D&D. You can do what you want,
Mhm.
And it's crazy because there's so many possibilities in the D&D.
Yeah. Now, obviously, it's going to be better or worse depending on your dungeon master, which is why I'm terrified to play it when we finally do get it going. Because I'm sitting here like, man, I've got this really nice campaign and stuff like that, well thought out and stuff. But I'm like, what if I'm just not a good dungeon master? I don't know. But
I mean, back of your head. I mean,
I'm sure Matt thinks that too, though, because he often talks about anxiety and stuff like that, and so I'm sure part of him also thinks once in a while about.
He has nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he has nothing to worry about. We know he has nothing to worry about, but I feel like he probably does, like, kind of worry about it a little bit. I think you're probably a bad dungeon master if you're not worried about being a good dungeon master.
Yeah.
So, but so what are your thoughts on D&D here?
Ready to play.
He's ready to play. He doesn't even give a shit. He's like, man, fuck this podcast. I'm ready to do the D&D podcast.
I've been waiting for like a year.
Way too long, man.
It's been a while.
Every time we plan this shit, it fucking falls through, dude.
Yeah, we planned it back when he lived here the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we lived here, we had like
we started talking about it.
Then he moved away, so it just kind of went down. We didn't. Really
Then we started talking about it again, and he's like, "Yeah, if I ever move back, we'll make it." And then it was like, "I'm moving back like next week," and I was like,
"What the fuck,
dude? It's time.
It's time."
I was like, Taylor, man, like up until like a year ago, I was like, fuck that, dude. I ain't no. I ain't no little bitch.
Until I kind of showed him more about Critical Role.
Really?
And then I started watching Critical Role.
Oh yeah, I remember that one night that like you still weren't sure about it, and we all sat there and watched like one of the most emotional parts of campaign 1.
I don't know if that's really
what we were doing. Were we in Discord or something?
Well, yeah, we were playing some other game.
And
Zach
Wait,
we
were we
stopped.
playing Divinity? No.
Zach was like,
we were about to.
I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it.
No, that was the first night we were gonna play EFT. Like the first time I was gonna play EFT.
Maybe that's right.
Yeah, and we were about to play it, and I was waiting for it to download or something, and
Yeah,
we were on
we
Discord.
showed him all day.
And yeah,
Critical Role.
it's but I was sitting there like, man, like, it gets me, dude. It makes you cry, bro.
I mean, I will say, like,
the story gets deep, dude.
I try not to be an emotional dude. I don't show it. But
you guys,
it can get pretty sad.
yeah, it
sometimes.
can. And you guys
I
act
still
like
won't
it.
show it. But.
Yeah, you guys act like it doesn't make you too sad. But I'm telling you, if we get in here and I make a story and stuff good enough that you're like into your characters and stuff, as long as you guys actually fall into your characters and stuff, because some people I know are just they'll play their characters but they don't really care. But if you actually get into it, because you got the fun of it to me is the role playing part, because everybody plays D&D for different reasons, or tabletop RPGs in general for different reasons. Some play for the combat, some play for the role playing elements, some play for the lore in the background, and they just play because they want to see what people do with the lore in the background.
It just seems fun.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody hanging out, having fun, laughing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like playing a video game, just like with your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
See, that's
it's
my
crazy
thing.
because games they're limited.
Yeah.
Like you can only do so much. I mean, yeah, they can do open world stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's still limited.
D&D
Compared to
feels
D&D,
like so
it's
much
just it doesn't matter. Like the DM could throw anything at you at any point.
And it's one of those things that no matter what you do, the DM could still twist that in some way. Like, you just start off in the game, you're like, well, let's go to the tavern, because that's where most people go at the beginning of the game, or they start at the tavern or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go to the tavern. Well, you never know if your DM's going to make it a normal tavern where there's a bunch of people, you get a couple quests there, and you start your journey. Or maybe your DM's one of the DMs who's like, you get into the tavern and everyone's dead. And now it's a mystery, and you got to figure out what the fuck happened here. If you want to, but the players could always be like, no, I'm not fucking with that, and leave.
Yeah.
And so at that point, when you walk out, DM could twist that in a way where you go back in, you have to do it, or, let you do what you want and be like, okay, well, that's something you don't get to experience, but that's okay, and you guys move on from that town because you don't want anything to do with it, and that's fine.
Well,
and then on travel
that's
away
what
from
I
the
like
town.
about it though. Is because if we decide to say fuck it, we're just gonna leave. That could be a big consequences because
it could.
because we're not following up on a boss. It could be like a small boss,
That
but
you-
he
that
could
you
get
could
bigger and
use,
bigger
yeah.
because we didn't finish him off early.
Yeah,
So
not-
then that could be a problem.
Oh, butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
And
fucking crazy.
see,
I
it's
love
not even just that. On top of that, even if it's not something like that, if you guys just get out of there and whatnot, and you're not rolling perception checks to check around or anything like
Oh,
that,
you get fucked.
Maybe. Or
don't
maybe
check for
that's
traps?
someone that sees you walking away from this crime scene, and now you're a fucking fugitive
Yeah, because
in
everybody
this
think
world.
you did it.
Exactly. And you didn't do something to investigate it. Or you walked into the tavern, guards were on the way. When you're walking out, no perception check, you just walk out and leave. The guards saw this party of people leave, and then they go in here and see this thing happen. Then automatically, they're in pursuit. If the DM's good enough, he's rolling these rolls to see how far they're moving and stuff, while you guys are moving too, to try to catch you. And then one night while you're resting on the road, these motherfuckers roll up on you, and they're like, yo, you going to fucking jail, bro. or they kill you, you know, depending on whatever kind of society you live in.
Yeah. See, I think one of my favorite part. I mean, because I've watched the whole first season so many times. The second season, I've kind of leaned off a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite parts that Matt's doing is those thugs that they keep running into. Like when they go to sleep, and all of a sudden
The
these
bandits,
thugs try to
the
like,
bad luck bandits.
yeah,
as they
they,
call them.
they keep trying to rob them, and they're like, "Come on."
What did you do, Trevor?
have you seen the newest? They meet them again.
No.
No,
Spoiler
I haven't seen
alert,
that
but
one. I
it's not a big spoiler. Obviously, they meet different people like that, but yeah, they meet them again, and
Oh,
it's
it's
fucking
fucking
hilarious
hilarious.
again. Because when they like,
He's like, what did you do to Trevor?
but it's crazy. And all tabletop RPGs, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are that way where, you know, they really... I played this one called Scum and Villainy with some dudes on Discord. And that I didn't stream that one. I was streaming Pathfinder for a little bit, but I streamed Scum and Villainy... Or I didn't stream... I played Scum and Villainy with these dudes on Discord. And Scum and Villainy is this game where you're in space, and you can literally be whatever kind of space person you want, whether you're an adventurer or you're a fucking space pirate or you're this or that. We had a character who was like a robot who was slowly becoming self-aware and stuff like that, and he was our teammate. And he was running away from his master and stuff like that. Well, it turns out we ended up running into some stuff to do with his master, and so we're like, oh shit, because now we've got to go into the hornet's nest of this dude looking for his robot who's been fucking gone forever, and now he's got to fucking go back to his place, and you know, now he's got to deal with this problem and stuff. And it got we none of us were like hardcore into the RP until that moment, because then we all realized the risk there, because we're like, oh man, he could just get taken or deactivated, because this is the one person that knows how to deactivate him without like killing him or anything, or potentially reprogram him to attack us or anything like that. We were a little scared. Like, in the RP, we were a little frightened, because we're like, oh shit, there are real consequences to what to the mission we're about to do. And it's crazy. Like, tabletop games in general are crazy like that, like the hardcore tabletop RPGs and stuff. And Zenith War in here in chat brought up Warhammer as well. Warhammer is not one of the ones you look at the RP. I think it is considered a tabletop RPG, but you don't look at the RP of it.
It's pretty crazy.
It's a big fucking... These pieces cost a lot of fucking money, too.
Yeah.
They have these big boards with big fucking environment set up on it. And you get these armies, these soldiers and stuff like that from whatever faction you choose.
You roll a lot of dice.
Yeah, there's a lot of dice, and there's a lot of, like, strategy to it, like Risk and stuff like that, except a more hardcore version of Risk. And you're fucking controlling these armies, and you fight each other. And that brings me to my point of... Tabletop games, I think, are looked over a lot, and they're less looked over nowadays. They're getting popular again, and I'm happy about that. But it's unfortunate, because tabletop games were looked over for a long time there. And it's just crazy. I think that these worlds, nobody knew that you make up completely in your mind. And that's what's crazy about it. Because a video game is a made-up world, but it's a limited made-up world, like you made the point earlier. And these games are not limited. You know, you can make up whatever backstory for your faction on Warhammer. You can make whatever backstory for your character on Scum and Villainy, Pathfinder, D&D. I know Bunny Bacon, one of the viewers in chat, a lot of the times he's playing a new one that's like a mech tabletop RPG. It's insane, the choices and stuff. But to get back onto the D&D for a second, it's a beautiful game, but I like the art. I like the role playing aspect of it, because even if you're even letting a little bit of your imagination into it, like if I was talking about YouTube specifically for playing or whatever, you guys' backstory for D&D and stuff like that, just your given backstory to me, not what I added to it or anything, is emotional enough in a way. Because for those of you out there that are interested, one of our guys, and this one isn't spoiler stuff, this is stuff you'll know right off the beginning of the game. One of our guys here, Bearded's character, he basically got given away by his family to the military, or to the government in some way, and taken, yeah, pretty much.
Not my baby boy.
But he gets away from him at some point, and he goes through this town. And when he goes through this town, he goes to an orphanage, and in this orphanage is this old orphaned elf, little orphaned elf about his age, because he was given away at a young age. Bearded's character, yeah. And they meet each other and they become friends from that, and that's an emotional thing because now these two are attached because he's got someone to take care of, gets his own head off of his situation, but on top of that, he sees this other person that he's like, oh shit, like they've got it bad too. It's not just me. And then on top of that, then your character has
chill bumps.
Yeah, exactly. Then your character has this thing going on with him where it's like now you have like a sibling like kind of figure and stuff like that. And I haven't thought this deep into the orphanage aspect because you guys aren't in the orphanage by the time the game starts. But you could even say that in the orphanage, no one would be your friend, no one hang out with you or anything like that. You were lonely in the orphanage or whatever, and he made himself available in that, like, so you guys got this like brotherly bond. You guys are pretty much brothers without being blood brothers. You guys
I
are
always
pretty
wondered
much
about that, like maybe like we were the only two elves that were even there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe elves, like maybe just in this city or whatever, elves are looked down upon, and so they took care of you because they had to, but they didn't like you. Like the kids didn't like you and the older people didn't like you and stuff, and so you guys kind of took care of each other because Bearded's character is also an elf. So it's just that right there already gets an emotional, and that's why I like about your characters because, no offense, but just because of how laid back you are and stuff, and how much it took you to get into D&D at first, my thinking was, man, these guys need the emotional stuff. Because if they're going to get into the RP aspect, they need something that's going to have to draw them into it. And that's perfect for you guys. You guys made up that backstory on your own, and that's perfect to draw you guys more into that. Because now at some point, I could do anything to fuck with you guys and your fucking backstory or anything. And it's going to affect you guys on an emotional level too. Because now you're like, and you guys have this relationship kind of in real life too, where you treat each other like you guys are really close friends. And, like, kind of, you guys have a brotherly bond in real life. And so now it's going to be like, you guys are going to feel the effects of that in a real-world kind of way. You're going to be like, oh, shit, like, I got to help this guy. He's been my big brother, basically, the whole time.
And if something happens, I couldn't leave him.
Exactly.
I'd have to go
exactly.
back.
It's one of those
we
things
may
where,
both die at that
the
point.
rest of the party may be like, we got to leave this place or whatever. And you're like, fuck, no, he's still back there, bro. I got to go back for him. And it creates... And
we may lose both of our characters.
Yeah, and on top of that, it creates like this indecision amongst the party. Now there's a big RP moment because the party's got to like,
leave or come with me.
And the party's got to be like, why won't you? Come on, we got to go, and you're over here like, pouring your heart out, basically like, no, you don't understand. We've had this relationship. We've been brothers for a long time. I'm not gonna, he's never let me down. I'm not gonna let him down, kind of thing. It gets super fucking emotional type shit. And I'll be honest with you, that's not a situation I had drawn up yet. But
fucking it is now.
but that's just as crazy as it gets.
Halfway through the campaign, we're freaking level 12,
killing it.
And then next thing I know, all of a sudden you wake up and Taylor's character is gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I make everyone leave the room. It's just you, and I'll do your kind of stuff that you're doing while they're looking for you, and it's just, what's crazy about it is I just came up with all that off the top of my head right now. So,
Woody, help!
As a DM, it's interesting for me because, and it's always interesting for the DM because I could literally change the game for you guys at any point, like at any moment. Like you guys, like you said, you can go to sleep. And while you're sleeping or whatever, you guys are taking shifts or whatever you're doing, in my head I could be sitting there like, well, let's make this happen. And if, the bad guys get away with it, then they get away with Waldy. Or they get away with Taylor, and it's... I love it. It's just there's so much. I don't know. I just feel bad because tabletop games get shit on sometimes, and I'm sitting here like, no, you don't understand. If you let yourself get out of the real world for a second and stop being a stuck up little bitch about, oh, I'm not gonna do that because that's what kids do and blah blah blah, and you get out of that mindset for just a second, and you step in the shoes of this other person and stuff and their story, and you actually feel their story and everything. It's crazy the fucking things you can do.
All I am is a big kid with money.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's the best way to be. I think the people that say that kind of shit about tabletop games, to me, it's just stupid.
They're boring.
Yeah, exactly. They're boring because they're
got
sitting
no
there.
life.
Yeah, they're trying to be an adult and stuff like that, and they're trying to do this stuff. There's no problem with being a kid as an adult, as long as you still take care of your responsibilities and pay your bills and shit like that, and you're still a member of society, just like anyone else is. Then what's the point? What's the problem? Because it literally doesn't affect you. You just at that point they just have a fucking problem with nothing for like no reason. But I don't know. It's beautiful stuff, and we can step out of the D&D aspect of it now. But I think our thing here at the Dark Sky Gaming Podcast, our thing is that's like our main one that we're really interested in. We've all played Monopoly. We've all played tabletop games recently. We played Cards Against Humanity recently.
D&D just hits different.
It does, man. D&D just hits different.
Once we can get another person or somebody that we
need
know.
just 2 more people.
And what's
One
crazy?
or 2 more people, yeah.
What's crazy is I think everybody D&D is one of those things that could be for everybody if they would just let it. Like if these people that are boring and stuff like that would put that aside for 2 fucking seconds, sit there and let themselves, come up with their own backstory, because that's what makes it really nice. You get to come up with your own backstory for this character, so you get to make the story and you get attached to it because you made it. It's something you made, something you're invested in, and so now you're automatically attached to this thing. That now if I come in and fucking throw 20 bandits at you guys and you're just 2 people by yourself,
see, that's the thing that's
a situation right
it's
there.
Just fucked up, man.
Yeah.
But it's insane. I think that's the best aspect of tabletop games. Obviously, you can't do that kind of stuff. You can't get in that deep on like Monopoly and stuff like that. But those games are fun because they still get you riled up and everything.
If you haven't listened to any of our other podcasts, one of these days, if you haven't been paying attention, we do plan on doing a D&D
Oh yeah.
or D&D stream on Twitch, and
Yeah.
it'll be on YouTube. All that good jazz.
Yeah, so if someone wants to sponsor us with like a new camera, some more audio stuff,
Get that Audio Technica
that'd be great.
sponsorship going. But oh yeah.
Make it look better.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, but when we do it, I don't want it to look too unprofessional or anything. So like, when we do it, I'm gonna do it big. Like I'm gonna do it as good as possible. And we've already talked about maybe both putting it, his house with his table and stuff. Maybe
different cameras. 2, 3.
Having one more of these,
and then putting
and
some money into to
get 2 more cameras.
Yeah, and then putting enough money into it to where we can, we can create arenas or little areas and stuff like that. And it's just, you don't have to do that stuff if you're out there and you want to play D&D.
Yeah, if you're out there playing, you don't even need characters. You don't need a grid sheet.
Yeah, you don't need any of
dungeons. You don't need nothing. You just need your imagination.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's crazy about D&D. I was so excited. I was just fucking gonna eat it and fucking keep talking. That's another thing that's fantastic about D&D to me is the.
Want another beer?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's what's fantastic another thing fantastic about D&D to me is the fact that you can play 100% with imagination. Obviously, if you have grid sheets and stuff like that, it's going to at least help you know that this character's 5 feet away from you and stuff. It kind of helps with the math on it a little bit.
Yeah.
And ranges and stuff. But you don't have to do that. You can just ask the DM, how far away am I? And the DM can have it in his head, like, okay, or be writing it down somewhere. This character is this amount of feet away from this and this, and, the character and everything.
Yeah, that's just a little bit more hardcore.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah, but you can do it that way. To me, I really like the idea of us getting minis for our characters and stuff like that, and
for sure.
just helping with the visual of it a little bit, just for us, and it'll be for the stream too, but mainly for us, just so we can have that visual representation of a lot of like, oh shit, look at my little fucking elf dude that I made and stuff like that, you know? It looks exactly like I envisioned it or whatever. It's just insane. And there's a lot of tabletop games that you can do that kind of stuff with, or you don't have to. There are websites. Roll20 is a good website you can use, and it has a lot of character sheets built into it and stuff, where you can build your character there, fresh on the website, whether it's D&D or a lot of tabletop games. They're Star Wars tabletop RPGs, and they're fun from what I hear. I haven't actually played them, so I don't know. But they're fun from what I hear. would assume they're fun. I was a kid, and I had a toy lightsaber, and I fucking played Imagination Star Wars shit all the time, and it'd be basically the same thing, just a little bit of math involved.
Mine was always Yu-Gi-Oh. Because I always had the deck thing.
Yeah, this motherfucker over here had the dual disc.
I had the dual disc back in the day.
That lucky fuck.
Yeah, I was so pumped. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Ooh,
You already broke one tooth.
That's a rough one, bro.
No, some guy told me how to do it. Your teeth are actually a lot stronger than you think they are, as long as you put the pressure on very slowly and not just all at once. I watched him do it. He's like some kind of engineer.
Fucking engineers, dude.
They're crazy, dude. They're the wizards of real life.
Yeah.
Goddamn. That terrifies me every time I see someone do
You
something.
can't do it. You can't just go, or
Yeah.
you'll break a tooth. You gotta just slowly bend it.
I don't trust it, dude.
Like, I literally watched him rip off the lid of a fucking beer can. Like this. He bit down with it with his teeth and pulled this whole fucking top part off.
Jesus Christ,
It was
dude.
after he did that. Because somebody came up to me like, hey, you got a ball over? I was like, yeah. He's like, I was like,
Holy shit.
I was like, what the fuck? And
What
he's
level
like,
of man is this?
He's like, oh yeah. And he grabbed it and he's just like, pisses off. I was like, and I tried that shit's hard.
See, you ever thought about stuff like that? Like, my imagination goes wild about that. Because, like, I'll see something like that. I'm like, level 12 wizard. I was like, I'm just like,
I do the same
I'm just
shit.
like a level 5, like, nothing. Like, level 5.
I'm a level 5. That's
warlock. Like, if
I'm a bard.
Yeah.
I
sing in my car sometimes. I'm a bard.
Yeah. I don't know. My mind does that quite a bit. Then you have
There was,
Chris Angel, Mind Freak.
Strawberry lemonade.
There's a D&D podcast out there. I don't know which one, so I'm sorry to these guys. I can't shout them out. Not that our shout out would count for anything at the moment anyways, but still. I saw a clip of it, though, the other day. And this dude is a bard, but he's really creative. Like, he's a really creative dude. He's a rap bard.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He fucking, all his, like, songs and stuff like that. Because to be a bard, you don't have to sit there and sing your songs or whatever. But it's just more fun if you do. Hey, nice. But this dude, like, raps his fucking stuff. And I thought that was fantastic because he has, like, his phone he brings up and has a little beat and stuff. And then he fucking freestyles some little shit.
See, that's what I loved about Sam Riegel so much.
Oh, yeah, because he'd actually fucking make...
Sam would sing. Like, he would make songs up and sing it, whatever. Fucking great.
That's one of the Critical Role cast members.
Or at least just go back and just watch the highlights of Sam singing. Because some of the stuff that he sings, not like the ads, but his like actual singing games that help people.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking great. Although you can tell when stuff that's getting like serious or whatever, because at the end of the very end when they're versing like Vecna, like he's trying like he has like a whole plan on like how to stop Vecna and everything like that and try to save Vax.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which one. So it's Vex and Vax. I never know which one's the boy or girl.
Yeah, Vexali and Vaxeldon.
Yeah.
Vax is the dude.
Yeah, Vex. But then like
Vax is the dude? Oh,
Vex.
the other way.
Vex and Vex. The Vex is the
The only reason I remember because Vaxeldon sounds more like a Vaxeldon sounds more like a dude to me than Vexalia. That's like pretty, like Dahlia and stuff like that. So Vexalia is the girl.
For me, I thought Vax was a girl and Vex.
I always got confused.
I've gotten confused before. That's how I eventually learned how to remember it because I was like, I gotta figure something out. That way I'm not talking about this shit.
Name. I just knew it was Vex and Vax,
Fucking,
which I knew there was more to it.
Yeah,
dude, Vax was such a badass.
Vex though. Let's not even talk about Vex, but I don't think I've ever been so interested wink, wink, in a imagination character that I don't get to see. Like, I don't actually have an image of them, but
It's crazy.
just from the sound, like the voice and then the description and stuff, I was always like,
I mean, I spent like two,
Pee-pee.
I spent like two or 3 years watching these guys. Like I got attached to their characters. Like,
Yeah.
'cause, like stuff would happen to their characters. And I'm thinking one of them's gonna die, and I'm panicking because I'm like, you got to figure something
oh,
out.
dude, come on, guys. What the fuck are you doing?
I was like, you have everybody getting pissed off right now.
Oh, yeah, when, spoiler alert for Critical Role fans. Spoiler alert. So, skip over the next
Yeah.
minute. Skip over the next minute or two. But when... Skip. When Molly dies in Campaign 2,
Yeah.
that fucking got me, bro. Because I was like,
I hated
he wasn't even my...
Honestly,
He
it
wasn't
didn't
my...
get me as much as I thought it was going to.
He wasn't my favorite character. And it seems like most of the people who
It
weren't
sucks
as
that he's
attached-
gone now, though.
Yeah, because
He
he
was
was
such a
he was
cool
really
character.
interesting.
Yeah.
His background was really very interesting.
He like, I don't know what it was, but his character, like, there were you know there were so many secrets that he had.
Oh yeah,
There were
dude,
so many
and his
secrets that
background-
we're not going to get to learn about, and it pisses me off because he was such a cool character.
unless he comes back, unless they bring him back, because they still talk about it once in a while. Once in a while they'll bring him
Well,
back.
because Caduceus, they're trying to. It seems like they're trying to get like Caduceus
Yeah.
to be able to do it, but Caduceus already set like his whole like fungus spell on him or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I mean we can't really retrieve the body.
Part of me was wondering if that was Talison's way of saying goodbye to that character and not wanting to go back to him.
See, that's
That's
Because
what I was
he
thinking.
did seem like a harder character to play. Because he got hurt. He was hurt in a lot of the fights early on.
See,
I
the
mean,
thing
he
about-
hurts himself using
Yeah.
his own sword.
yeah, it's
I
because
mean,
it's
thing
because the
about
bloodlines do
Taliesin-
that.
Is out of everybody, he goes hard on his character.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he's the ringer. He was the ringer in Campaign 1 when they started.
Oh, yeah, campaign
Matt
was
brought
crazy.
him in because he was the ringer. He was the only one of the bunch that played the game consistently to this day.
Yeah.
And he played with Matt. He still plays with Matt in games that we don't see because Matt plays D&D, not on Critical Role sometimes.
mm-hmm.
And they still play together, you know, just those two and some other people and stuff. So
like I will
he's
say,
been the ringer the whole time.
it's almost like annoyingly too hard for me.
Yeah, that was one of my things at
I
first.
think sometimes he gets
yeah, there's a
too
couple.
far into it, but I'm talking about he's fucking dedicated.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
don't.
wait till you watch season 1.
Oh yeah.
It gets fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, season
He's
1
into it.
season 1 he's really into it. But season 1's the season that made me like
Yeah.
him because at first Campaign 2, since I hadn't listened to it in a while before Campaign 2 started, when it started I was like, you know, I was kind of like, ugh, like God, he's going at it again, you know, like he's getting real hard into it already, and you know, I was kind of, it is kind of annoying in a way, but then once you get past that for a minute, it, you know, especially in the deep moments when they ask something, and especially since he's Caduceus now, when he talks about stuff, and he just gets really emotional and stuff, and you can feel it, because then you're like, oh shit, like he's saying some real shit right now.
It's like he believes it. Like,
Yeah.
I will
he's that
say
far
I
into
do
it.
not like Caduceus as much as I did Molly though.
I liked Molly a lot
Yeah.
better. He was a lot more interesting. I didn't like his accent. It was supposed to be an Irish accent. I didn't know that until one of the
Oh,
Talks
really?
Mocking
Yeah.
episodes.
He
Yeah,
talked about
they
it. I
joke
was
about
like,
it. They joke about it once in a while. They're like, yeah, when you try to create a character and, you know, you try to create characters with accents, sometimes the accent doesn't come across. And Taliesin basically was like, yeah, I was trying to practice my Irish accent with that character. And
Alright, what's the one character you don't want to see die? Out of the whole entire group,
Ford,
Ford?
100%.
Ford, really.
That's the same thing I was thinking of. I was like, man, because
He's a badass too. He's
He is-
too much of a badass.
And his character's really cool anyway, like just his backstory and stuff
Yeah.
like that. He's really mysterious and interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't agree, though. I would...
I was so sad. I was getting sad because I was like, this is it for Ford. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's just gonna make a new character. But then they brought it back in. I was like, thank goodness. I was like, I want to keep Ford in there.
Yeah, I would say Caleb is the one
Ford's a
that,
badass.
that I don't want to see go. But that's just because Caleb's got, like... We've seen a lot of his backstory come out and stuff. But I'm so attached to his character's motive now. Because they've pretty much shown the Empire to be pieces of shit at this point. And I'm so attached to his motive that I'm like, damn, dude.
His backstory.
I just want to see Caleb get revenge on the people that, you know, made him kill his family and stuff.
Ford's
like that.
really the only one that. Anyone else I could not care about.
I really like Yasha too, and we still don't know shit about Yasha.
Dude,
Yasha's a badass. That's all it is.
I'm just wondering if she ever gonna come back.
You're a little.
Hey, you're in a. I forgot how.
You're pretty far back.
Yeah, you're back there. That look, I didn't mean to give it away like that, but I was just like.
I would say her TV show's not like going right now.
Oh, so
she's back.
Oh.
For what is it, Blinding Side or something like that?
Blind Spot.
Blind Spot, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
are they? I don't know if they're doing any more episodes or not.
Yeah. All right, let's ease out of the Talks Machina episode over here. But you did bring up something there that makes me think again about more tabletop RPGs and stuff. Specifically D&D, but more tabletop RPGs. The fact that you get attached to their characters, that's another thing that's really cool about D&D. You'll be playing with these guys, and you play with these guys for, if it's a one-off, then it's a one-off. But if it's, you play with these guys, especially for like upwards of a year and stuff, you get attached to their character too, and their quirks and stuff like that. And you'll be playing with them and stuff, and maybe one of them, assuming we got people that were into the roleplay enough to really play it like this, but like say you're playing with him, and you can just tell his character is acting different, like he's acting different as his character, or he gets in a spot that his character seems confused or something like that, then you're attached enough to this character by then that something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him.
Yeah, because I could play it way different than I normally would.
Yeah, and
like
then,
I normally would do this, but now I'm doing something else completely different.
And so now
it's not like my character.
And now when you guys take a rest, you guys can take a shift together or something like that. And while everyone else is asleep, that's an RP moment right there where you can basically be like, look, is something going on or whatever? Like, is there something I can help you with or something? And it just gets you that much more into it. And that's the stuff I really like to see. Like, not as a DM or anything, but just as a person in general. Because I like to see those moments where these people playing this game are taken completely out of this world. They're so into their characters and into the RP that they're straight feeling these emotions toward these other characters where they're like, dude, like, are you okay and stuff like that? Like you would in real life. If, Taylor was acting real depressed or something like that, I'm positive that you'd be the first one there to be like, when he's by himself or something, be like, something going on, man? Like, and that's just the way it is, though. That's the way friends and stuff are.
Being a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever your variation of that is. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking pussy.
But,
No. Well, okay, see, I didn't realize, like, it got that serious until the end of the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like,
they were past a lot of the serious stuff in Campaign 1.
Yeah.
Like, they talked about it before, like doing certain things and being like, oh, man, when this happened, I was so sad and stuff. But we never got to see that stuff. But then, yeah, toward the end of Campaign 1, that's when it got really fucking...
Yeah.
We were like, damn.
At the end of it, almost everybody was crying at that table.
That really shows you the impact on it, though.
It like... I didn't cry or anything from it because I was like, I mean, it's sad, but I was like...
You're not as attached as they are, obviously.
But, like, I was sad. I was like, man, this sucks. I was like, I've watched him for, like, 3 years.
Yeah, and there's no way...
this character is now going to be gone and not going to be in the campaign anymore. Because now they did a one-shot to go back. He's not in that one-shot.
Yeah.
Because his character is dead.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he's with the Raven Queen or whatever.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
It fucking sucked.
I'm sorry, man. You got too comfy with messing with her. That's why when you guys came over, I was constantly like really nervous and stuff when she'd like mess with you because I was sitting there like, man, she gonna pee on you if you don't watch out, dude. But I don't want to tell that to anyone because everyone automatically treats the dog like shit. So I was like, I was trying to see when episode 1 of Campaign 2 started.
Huh?
2018. They started January 11th last year.
Yeah.
No, two years ago.
2 years ago, buddy.
That's crazy to me. That's
already been out for 2 years.
That's what I'm trying to get
they're
at.
still like nowhere.
Yeah. Well, they're getting somewhere.
Well, they are, but I'm...
They're. I'll say between where you're at and now, they made a lot of progress towards certain aspects of the story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The first campaign took like 5 years.
Which I guess I am like probably like 20 episodes behind.
Do you know for sure what episode? I'd say 50 or 60. I think is the last time I
like
checked
80.
on you. 80?
70 or 80.
They're in the 90s.
They're in
96, 97.
I think I'm like, I want to say I'm either like 81 or I'm like,
I didn't realize they did that much in that many episodes though, where Yash is still gone at that point.
They did a
Yeah.
lot.
They did, yeah, they did a lot. Well, I realized they did a lot just in those episodes that she was gone. They made a lot of progress just in those episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when Ford does his thing
Yeah.
during those episodes that she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's insane. But I don't know. I think the fact that we're sitting here talking about Critical Role really speaks on it that much more, though. How captivating tabletop games can be, because we're watching other fucking people play these games. We're not playing them yet. We're watching other people, and we're this invested in these experiences, to where I cried when certain shit. I cried when.
Oh, damn, how far I thought it was.
I cried when spoiler. When Molly died, I cried.
I'm either on 85 or 86.
Oh,
I'm a lot
Since
farther
when?
than I thought it was.
Let me see what I'm on.
you're only like 11
10
episodes.
episodes behind.
Yeah.
I guess I watched it a lot sooner ago than I thought I had.
Yeah. Still though, that's even more.
That's
so,
crazy.
More
Yeah, they've
impressive
done
to me,
so much. Because like where I'm at right now.
But I realize there's several episodes right after she leaves that are like 4-hour fucking episodes,
Yeah.
and so they do a lot. Like 4 or 5 in a row that are 4-hour episodes.
I'm halfway down with 90.
Oh man, you. There's shit that's happened that you don't know about. God damn, they do a lot right here in the 90s. They're getting a lot done.
They just they posted 95 5 days ago.
Okay, it's 95.
Yeah, so 96
Oh, they
is
posted one just recently.
I thought it was
No.
96.
95
Was it on
was 5
YouTube?
days ago. I mean, they just did the legend of the story of Vox Machina.
Yeah.
I mean, they did 2 days ago. They did Vox Machina. That's what you're
How long
Yeah.
ago did they?
So
How
was
long did it
95?
take them to post?
It's once a week.
They did take like a 2-week break here recently, though. I
Oh,
think that's
yeah.
why he stopped. I think it was.
Well, I'm
around
saying
90
they
or
just
so.
Yeah.
they just did one Thursday.
Yeah,
That was like
I think it was 95 though.
2 days, like 3 days.
Oh,
ago.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, it hasn't got uploaded yet. Won't get uploaded till Monday.
Yeah.
It's 96.
Oh, Monday. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, 95 is the last one out on YouTube right now.
Yeah, they
'Cause
do
I
they
don't-
do re-uploads on Monday.
I don't stick with them live. I used to. Because I was off on Thursday nights,
Mhm.
so I would watch Critical Role Thursday nights. So I was always caught up.
Yeah,
But then I started working Thursday nights, so I couldn't do that anymore.
yeah. I've tried to get.
Dude, watching it live is pretty cool because like the whole chat is
Oh.
just fucking going crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
There was a recent
It's something different.
there was a recent resolution to something in the game, and the chat was 100% guessing at this thing that gets revealed at this moment, and there were so many of them that were like on point too in that chat. Like they were fucking on it. They were like, "Oh man, I know what this is." Like, and it was pretty crazy. It's a crazy moment. I think you said that you watched that, like the clip of that or whatever, on YouTube here recently.
Bye-bye.
It was the thing that Laura did. Like, or not.
Oh, I saw.
It was because of what Laura did. Something happened.
Yeah, I've
because
seen.
of that.
I try not to watch anything on
Yeah.
any episode I haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get when we were talking about doing tabletop games and stuff, D&D stream and stuff, down where I lived when I lived in Rosebud. I was trying to get some people into it and stuff, and one of them that I just could not get into it was Kyler, or my roommate. I just could not get him into it, and I don't know, like, he said it just seems boring to him, I think is what he said, if I remember right, and I know part of it is because he had tried playing Pathfinder with a couple of our friends from high school, and I'm positive that I think he was running a pre-written campaign or something like that, so I'm positive he didn't make it interesting enough. Also, I know the dude that was running it, he's a boring dude. Like, I used to hate him at one point. I don't hate him anymore.
Uh-oh.
But this guy was born. Oh, I'm born. I try to avoid that. I explicitly go out of my way to try to avoid that in life.
Yeah.
All right. But I think that was his dilemma there. Was he was he had that bad experience with Pathfinder and he just wasn't interested. But I tried, man. I tried all the time. I was like, come on, dude. We need this many people, and these guys aren't giving me their character stuff. I was like, come on, man. He would not do it. And then finally he was like, I'll do it if I can be a Ninja Turtle. So I bought the thing on D&D Beyond to create a character, because I told him I'd create his character for him if he wanted me to, if he didn't want to go through that part. And so I bought the turtle character thing that you could create on D&D Beyond, because it's an easier way to create your character. Hey guys, we're not sponsored by D&D Beyond, but D&D Beyond's nice. But so I created this turtle. I made him a monk, because that was the closest thing I could think of. And he still wouldn't do it. He's like, I was kind of fucking with you, but but the thing is, then he wanted some of their weapons or something like that, and there's no equivalent to them in some of those weapons, at least in D&D. Oh, I'm trying to scoot up. But yeah, so I guess it's not for everyone, but I feel like it could be if they just give them a chance. But part of it is the leader of the game.
That's a huge part of it.
The players and the leader of the game is always going to be a big part. You could play fucking a game of Sorry or Monopoly or whatever the most fun regular board game to you is, Battleship. And if the other one's not explicitly like being active or something with it, it's going to be boring to you. Like Battleship's always a fun game because someone's like, motherfucker, like you hit my goddamn shit, like, fucking pissed.
Yeah, but if you're just fucking sitting there like,
yeah, if they're like, yep, you hit.
B4.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a boring thing. So it's one of those things that he's known me long enough. I was really hoping that he would be into the idea, because he would see that I'm not as boring as the other person. But he still wouldn't go with it. But I think that's something a lot of people have to realize, though. Don't ever base your first experience of any tabletop game, whether it's Monopoly or whatever, on one experience. Play several times with different people if that's something you think you might be interested in some way. Because the players and stuff really, like, it really changes it. You could, like, again, like Uno. You could play Uno with really boring fucking people. What the fuck? I don't have this.
Oh, God.
Damn. These guys are sword fighting over here. We just went in SFW. We just went live on Chatterbait.
Uh-oh. Catch us there.
Now we're on Chatterbait, guys. I thought the other day, I was like, what if I just re-upload the first stream episode to Pornhub? I was like, because sometimes maybe after you get your business done out of the way, sometimes you want to chill, after that, watch some TV or something. Maybe you don't want to get up from the computer, turn something else on, Pornhub on, man. Maybe you get podcasts suggested to you there. I've thought about it. So one of these days, you guys might catch us on Pornhub. We'll see. Yeah. I might test it one day. But we won't be.
What the fuck is happening?
Hey, you can be partnered on Pornhub without doing sexual stuff.
Yeah, just like that one dude.
Yeah, there's a dude that I literally, because Warden in the chat that one day, when I was like, you could probably go to Pornhub and look up a montage. He posted it in the fucking Discord because it was Pornhub link, so obviously he couldn't post it in chat. But he posted it in the Discord. I clicked on it. It was straight a FaZe Rain Call of Duty montage, and I just went like recommended next to it. It was a bunch of Call of Duty montages and shit, and they had thousands of views and stuff. None of them were as big as they would be on YouTube or something, but still, I was like, damn. It's like, there's a market here, bro. No one else is tapping into it. Well, these guys are trying. That's a weird burp, man. I thought I was going to throw up for a minute. It wasn't throw up, but I thought it was done.
All you got to do is stream naked.
Yeah,
I play naked anyway.
We'll do a special episode of the podcast just for them about porn games on the internet, like hentai and stuff like that. And we'll do a special episode of the podcast, and we'll all just be naked in here. It's all good, right? We're all good with that. Taylor's like, I don't know about this shit. We'll be in our underwear. There you go. We'll just have a bunch of sex toys laying around. We'll still put the episode up on our podcast stuff, though, because we're marked NSFW, man. Don't worry. I made sure that a long time ago because I was like, I don't know what we're gonna say.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mark us not safe for kids on YouTube, so that in case there's a audio clip of something that gets played at the beginning of the podcast on YouTube, then maybe I won't have to cut it out because it won't matter. What do you got going on over there right now? I'm talking about this.
I can't see the green.
But yeah, my main point with what I was saying there is I went way off track. My main point there is don't get discouraged from playing tabletop games and stuff just because they're not as interesting to you because of other stuff.
Yeah, this is any game. I try not to play any tabletop games or anything with less than 3 people.
Yeah, it's
That's a big thing. Monopoly, any game you play, it's just boring.
Yeah.
With 2 people.
I mean, we played, just the 3 of us played Game of Thrones Monopoly that one time. We had a good time. It was a pretty good time. But it probably would have been more interesting with more people.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the thing. That's one of the things. Like, my ideal size for, if we do this D&D podcast, my ideal size is 6 people. Are we going to get 6 people? Right now, we could barely get 2 players and 1 DM. So we'll see about that. But if we could get 6 people, that'd be, like, the best thing. I think is that how many on Critical Role? Sam, Liam, Travis, Marisha, Taliesin, Ashley.
7?
We'll
Am I missing one?
No, there's 6. There's 6 people.
Sam,
all the time.
Liam, Marisha, Ashley, Travis, Taliesin. So 6.
No, there's 7.
Wait, did you say Travis's wife?
Laura. Fuck.
How do you forget Laura?
I don't know how. But I don't know,
I'm
man.
gonna say because I know there's just 6 by themselves.
See, like, I close my eyes and picture it, because sometimes there's, like, 3 of them on top, and
Yeah.
there's 4 of them at, like, the bottom, or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't think about picture. I was trying to count in my head just names. But I don't know. Have you guys looked at any of these Kickstarter tabletop games besides the ones I've shared?
You shared them?
On our messenger thing. I see
Yeah,
I'm
just-
appreciated. But Kickstarter is a good place for tabletop games right now, and I think that's one of the things that's resurging them and stuff. Because like Dark Souls, before Critical Role was out, Dark Souls was doing this thing where they released Dark Souls board game, and I think it was announced before Critical Role ever started. So before that ever kind of made a resurgence in the popularity, Dark Souls got a board game, or got one announced, and they kickstarted it or funded it somehow. I think it was on Kickstarter, and it got funded like beyond what it needed. And a lot of these tabletop games I look at are getting funded like crazy. Like there's Humblewood, and that's one I'm like seriously into. And let me just hit you guys with a disclaimer real quick.
Humble Bundle?
I'm not a fucking no. No, that's not a disclaimer. I'm partnered on Twitch, but I'm not partnered on Spotify or anything like that. So hey, we're looking for those sponsors on the podcast. But anyways, but
Just stick that in there.
Humblewood, I'm not a furry. Okay, I just want everybody to know I'm not a furry. Nothing against you guys. If that's what you're fucking into, that's what you're into. I don't care. I'm not a furry. But Humblewood is basically a version of D&D in 5th edition, but you get these animal like races to pick from instead, and classes and stuff like that, and they have their own enemies, like cheetah enemies and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to me. And I didn't think it would be so interesting until we got to the part in Critical Role where there was the bird or whatever that they were taking care of, Kiri. And I was like, that's cute. And I was like, man, that'd be cool if he was like a friend with them and like became like a badass warrior or something. And then I found Humblewood, and I was like, oh, dude. I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, basically, just with everyone's animals instead. And I've listened to some of the one-shots on Critical Role and some other podcasts and stuff where they play some other tabletop RPGs, like Trash Pandas and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, even though we talk a lot about D&D, go out there on your Kickstarter. And even if you don't have a Kickstarter account or anything, make one, or you don't have to make one if you just want to look. But go to Kickstarter and Fig and stuff like that, and see if you can find yourselves a tabletop RPG that interests you, and back it, because those guys got dreams too. And, you know, that really helps those things. And I think more diversity in tabletop games and stuff like that helps, because that's more shit that you can play. So if we play D&D and somehow get tired of D&D, if someone was to ever get tired of D&D or just need a break from D&D for a little bit to play something else with a different system or something, or Pathfinder, then these games are a good addition to that kind of library of games where you can be like, well, let's do a one-off on this game real quick just so we can get an idea of it, play it, see if it's any fun and stuff. I don't have any specifically right now because the only one I was really paying attention to was Humblewood, and you can't kickstart it anymore. It's out. It's almost completely out, actually, like released now. So it's not something you can necessarily support anymore, but it was fantastic. It looks cool, and from what I've heard, it plays really well and everything. So, go support your shit, just like supporting small businesses and stuff. That's important. But yeah. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. I just wanted to let you guys know that's important stuff. But so right now we haven't played D&D, so you can't say D&D. But right now, as of like this age, what would you guys say is your favorite tabletop game ever? Like just right now, and I'll let you include card games, just for your favorite right now. Just talking about it, but. I want to hear what you got. I know we don't play a whole lot right now, so you have to dig deep. But if you think of them, like, what's the one that sounds the most fun to you? What do you like? Which one do you like the most right now? Monopoly? I think a lot of people are just in Monopoly. And it's got so many good ones. Have you seen the Lion King Monopoly? They got a Walmart?
Nope.
It's gold metal pieces instead of silver. Obviously painted, it's not solid gold, but but yeah, it's really cool. They've got like Simba and stuff like that painted gold, and it's pretty cool. Then there's Fortnite Monopoly that fucking sucks ass. Have you guys seen Fortnite Monopoly? It doesn't suck because it's Fortnite. It sucks because the pieces are little plastic pieces that you put a card in, and that's your skin or whatever you want to wear. And I guess it's because there's so many skins that they probably have a lot in there you can choose from, but that's fucking stupid. Make it metal pieces. If you don't want to do metal pieces of the characters or something, then do metal pieces of the guns or some shit. Because that's stupid, dude. I've never seen a worse version of Monopoly in my life. Yeah. Except for maybe that Cheaters edition, because that sounds like I'm going to have a bad time with it. I thought that was Game of Thrones Monopoly until I realized there was an actual Cheaters edition of Monopoly, so...
Yeah, I've seen that one.
That sounds like a bad time, man. You had a bad time on regular Monopoly. Or a version of regular Monopoly, so imagine Cheaters edition.
I think mine would just... I'll tell you mine would be Clue.
Clue, really?
If I was going to pick a favorite, yeah, just because Monopoly...
You brought Clue over a couple times when we were going to play games.
Yeah, we haven't played it yet.
We still haven't played it, but I was sitting there wondering, I was like, man, he keeps bringing over Clue, and I know he's got more than just like Clue and Monopoly. Mm-hmm. So...
He's just slowly hitting at it.
he's like one of these days they'll pick Clue. And I'll be happy. Mine right now... I really like Cards Against Humanity. I'm a big fan of Cards Against Humanity. But as funny as it can be, it does get old after a little bit. You play about a good hour and a half, 2 hours of it.
Yeah, it gets old. If you don't have a huge group of people...
Yeah, you need a big group of people, and you need like a lot of the collections of it and stuff to really diversify it. And that's what'll really make it more fun longer term. But
See, I kind of like the online version because you can get like every one of them. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's a lot of them that you can make up your own, or whatever. It'll just be a blank card, and you can type in what you want it to say. Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, you can get blank cards in real life, but you gotta write on them, but that sucks because
yeah, that's what I like.
Unless you're using like a dry erase marker or something, then you can't use that card. Well, you can. Shout out to another friend of mine who had Cards Against Humanity back home. He had blank cards, and we would write on them with a pen, and if it's funny enough, you just keep it. So, I don't know that he did keep any of them. I don't know if any of them were funny enough. I don't remember. But I know that was the general idea where it's like, if it's funny enough, it's funny enough. It's a new card. Yeah,
might as well.
But I don't know if it'd be Cards Against Humanity, though. That's up there, for sure. Yeah, I'd say Cards Against Humanity or Monopoly, or that Pokemon game I played when I was a kid, because that was just super fun to me. But, that'd probably be my ballpark of them. I would ask if we had anybody in the chat that wants to say anything, but today we started late and everything, so we don't have a whole lot of people in the chat. We've had one guy jump in and actually say something. We may have had more than that jump in and out. I don't know. My phone was almost dead, so I had to turn off my phone so I couldn't see. But if we got anybody in the chat though that wants to say anything, then talk about their favorite tabletop games or anything like that, then we'll take it. I know Zenith War earlier brought up Warhammer and Risk, and then said that D&D is the evolution of my twig is the spear of light and I'ma defeat the army of monsters. I don't know if that's him making fun of it or what, but I mean basically it is though. It's your imagination being like, hey, I'm this character. I think what he's more getting at is LARPing there. You guys ever LARP?
No.
No, you ever LARP?
I'll never get into LARPing.
It's not you're not into that. You won't go that far into your imagination.
D&D's fine. I'm not LARPing.
Fireball, fireball, fireball.
I'm into it, dude. I'm into it. I've done it once or twice now at this point. And
when I was like, 8 or 9.
I'm into it right now. I mean, I'd do it right now.
Yeah, if I was younger, maybe.
If you guys came to my apartment tonight and you had foam swords or something like that, and you're like, let's do this, like, out here or something, I'd have no shame in doing it. Like, I'd be like, yeah, 100%. I'm a knight motherfucker.
I'd have, some fucking play sword fight shit. But
You just couldn't be one of the wizards or something walking around with that kind of shit.
Fuck no.
Lightning bolt.
Well, some LARPing communities don't allow magic and stuff like that. They just do,
That's good.
they have, foam bow and arrows and stuff like that. Bows and arrow and...
I could do that.
That'd be cool. Just sit back, fucking launch them.
Yeah.
See if I can hit
I
someone.
don't know if you guys have ever fired a foam bow and arrow, though. Those things are kind of loopy.
Yeah, just put some little metal stuff in it.
Yeah, weigh it down so
Put a
that...
tack on the end of it.
Yeah. Make it a little heavier.
Maybe I'll put a tack at the end of it so it actually sticks. We were thinking about
Put a
make it
fucking-
heavier. You're thinking of
Put
fucking
a
using
syringe in the end of it with fucking morphine.
God damn, what the fuck?
It gets in your
Knocks their ass out.
Okay,
Can't fireball
boys.
me now, can you, bitch boy?
That'd be great. That'd be
God
funny.
dang it, dude. But yeah, I'd be super into LARPing. Alright, we're not getting anybody in the chat with their own opinions on anything. Is there anything that we didn't touch on you guys want to hit? Any other board games or anything like that
If you had.
that you guys can think of?
I don't know.
Jesus. But, you got anything?
Oh, us?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
Jesus Christ. Alright, then I guess we can go ahead and wrap this one up. It's a little shorter. It's not horribly shorter. It's just a little bit shorter than the average episode, I'd say. But
It's been a long day.
If not, we're just gonna talk about D&D.
yeah.
That's
See, that's
that's
the
all
thing
it's
I'm
gonna
trying
be.
to avoid is us completely talking about D&D, because eventually, just to give you guys a sneak peek of a future episode, I do want to talk about D&D's impact, but D&D's impact on video games as well and stuff.
Got some
And,
Divinity, Baldur's Gate.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Man, when are we gonna do another Divinity?
Oh yeah, I know, man. You keep talking about it. We keep bringing it up. I don't have the game downloaded
I'm
right
ready
now.
for. I'm
I can
ready
get
for
it
Baldur's
downloaded.
Gate 3.
Oh yeah.
So I'm ready for it.
That
What about
February
you?
27th is when we get that
Yeah.
gameplay preview.
I'm ready. It's getting close.
Yeah, shout out to the studio, fucking whoever makes it. I forgot their name, but the studio that makes Divinity, they're making a Baldur's Gate 3 game, and it's
Like,
coming
gonna
out,
be Good.
and the graphics look really good. They've got that part nailed down. It just depends on what they do in terms of gameplay. I know some people are worried about it because they're on the fence. They don't know whether to go with Divinity style combat or the old Baldur's Gate 3 combat, or Baldur's Gate combat, which was less turn based.
Yeah.
So
I like the turn.
I think they'll stick with the way Divinity was, though. If they're smart, they will, I would say. But
I know we got screwed the first time we played Divinity too.
oh, we fucked ourselves on that, man.
We
Oh,
ran
yeah,
into some sticky
we went-
It's your
situations.
fault. It's all your fucking fault.
A lot of it, I say we say that, but then toward the end, I was doing massive amounts of damage and shit with my other wizard.
Yeah.
And there was times though that I was sitting there like, man, I should have just stayed undead, because at this point, we eventually got to a point we did start just avoiding each other and stuff like that on the field, and we got better at that. So I think if I would have just stayed undead, there wouldn't have been a problem anymore, and it would have kept boosting me and stuff while also hurting
There
the
was so
enemies.
much like poison and stuff on the ground.
So much.
Like undead is like perfect on that game
Mm-hmm.
because like there's always just poison on the ground.
Yeah.
Just standing.
Or necro fire or whatever, and and the necro blood
Death
stuff.
fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being undead is like a really good thing on that.
We need to just do a run of the campaign one day where we're all
fucking
just undead.
I could do an undead rogue or some shit, yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We'd all have an advantage on that because then I'd just be throwing poison out as a wizard again and shit, and we'd all be getting healed constantly, dude.
Let's do it.
I'm down with
I'm
it, man.
down.
I'm down.
I'm down, dude. Undead.
Well, there you guys go. If you wanna watch a Divinity 2 stream of a bunch of fuckers playing undead characters and just really like owning the game for no reason, then
I gotta
there you
figure
go.
out who I'm gonna pick this time.
I think I'm gonna pick another rogue again.
another rogue.
Maybe
They're
try to go
powerful.
different.
You're doing some damage with that shit.
I have my dude fucking down to science.
Yeah, for sure.
That
I just
motherfucker,
gotta mess around with mine.
I was doing some hits.
Eventually, I just kept like summoning my one big dude.
Yeah, you went from a ranger to a
OP,
fucking.
You just didn't quite use them right.
Yeah, no, half the time I just fucking
If you
send him out
could,
there.
who did we play with that one day? Was it Bunny?
Bunny.
That guy had his ranger fucking down.
Oh yeah, Bunny knows that like game inside out, dude.
Hey,
I played with him by myself.
You'd have been critical hitting every time.
But see, I didn't want to do that though, because then it was just gonna make the game boring. So I was like,
Yeah, it got to a point that he was ranger at first, but then got to a point that he was definitely focusing more on summoning and stuff like that. So this time you could just focus on summoning early on in the game
yeah, I could.
and like put points to summoning.
See, I don't remember which class I picked, but I could summon a wolf, and like I'd had a big.
You were
wolf
like a
summon.
hunter or ranger or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That's why you had summoning, was to summon like companions, but it got to a point that your summons were your attacks, like what did more than anything.
I kept looking for. I couldn't figure out how to like, cause I didn't think it was my ranger character. I thought it because like we played like 2 or 3 different campaigns.
I think it was mine and yours
I think so.
when I had that night dude or that whatever he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was campaign me and you did
Okay.
because I think it was just us two. Because
I might pick one of
Zach didn't
them
get
too.
Yeah, there was like a couple week period, that like 3-week period or so I didn't get on.
Yeah.
So you
we
guys
made
were
our
like,
own
fuck it.
campaign.
Yeah, we started one, and then you and Dad had one, and then
It was getting out of
Your
hand.
dad played with us on our main one a couple times, but
That was just getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Because like we played the beginning 5 times
yeah.
before we
See,
beat
that's
the game.
I can do that. I'm so used to when Borderlands came out in PS3 a long time ago, the first Borderlands, just because I played with so many different friends and stuff, and I would restart to play with them and stuff, so I'd be at the same level. I played the beginning of Borderlands 3 or Borderlands 1, 2, and pre-sequel, and the beginning of Diablo 3 and stuff so many fucking times at this point that I have that early game shit down to a science.
Well,
But
I didn't mind it. It was just like I just wanted to beat the game.
Yeah.
Like, cause like every time we'd go so far, we'd restart it, make a new campaign.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to.
I think
I
it
want
was-
to make my dude better.
I think it was worth it though, because there were certain points in the game though we were all like we'd get frustrated pretty easy with our characters or with certain stuff. So I think it was for the better that we did it. Because I think if we would have,
we wasn't advancing.
yeah,
Because
I
we
get you.
advanced a little bit, then we're like, oh, we're starting a new campaign.
I know we got to Act 2, then we restarted. We'd get to Act 3 and we'd restart, and then finally we made it all the way through the game.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening and watching today. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the feedback so far. I'm seeing you guys out there on Spotify. Again, shout out to you guys on Spotify. You guys never cease to fail me. And YouTube. Thank you guys on YouTube as well. When I started re-uploading it to YouTube, I did not expect YouTube to be one of the primary sources of the views and stuff like that, but I appreciate you guys on YouTube watching. But yeah, so thank you guys. Remember, any feedback or topic ideas, anything like that, hit us any number of ways I've said before, and I'll say it again. We're 10 episodes in now. I might stop saying it at this point and just tell you guys to hit us with the feedback, and you got somewhere to resort to go back to if you need those resources. But once again, darkskygamenews@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps, nothing. darkskygamenews@gmail.com is one of the best ways to hit me. Also, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube for me are all Zenith Darksky. ZenithDarksky. Now, it might be some variation of that, but it will never have an underscore in it. None of them have an underscore. It's always going to be some variation of just the word, like it being treated as one word. It just might have Z and D capitalized instead, or not. But you'll know because I have my profile, like I'll have my avatar as my profile picture for my Twitch and stuff. It's a little cartoon avatar of me with a mohawk. So you'll know. Hit me on there. Simphus streams on Twitch, maybe on YouTube in the future a little bit. But he's also got just a YouTube too, so you can always just leave a comment on one of his videos, about it if you needed to. Yeah. Or in the community section. He'll get a notification if you hit in the community section. But CENFUSS on Twitch and YouTube. Now, YouTube is not youtube.com/user/Synfus. We're not big enough that we have URLs with our names in them. We just have a bunch of numbers and letters and shit. But either way, Synfus, you search Synfus on Twitch or Twitter, you're going to find that shit. It's the only Synfus on Twitch and Twitter, or Twitch and YouTube. Bearded Moors, you can catch him on Synfus's stuff. He's also got a Twitter for Bearded Moors, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we've said that before. And that's Bearded, like the word bearded, MORS for Moors. Means bearded death. But,
hopefully in a couple weeks when I get off working 12s, I'll be able to stream more.
There you go.
He's at 51 now. So now he just needs to get his...
Yeah, I just gotta get my hours and shit.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You can find Bearded Moors at those locations. Yeah, thank you guys again. I hope you guys enjoyed this little expedition away from regular video game stuff to the tabletop area. I know we focus more on D&D, but that's just, again, we try to do stuff that, we try to cover topics and stuff like that, even if we're not comfortable with them, but we try to cover them in some kind of a way where we're still all interested in this specific situation. We're all interested in D&D more than anything out of tabletop games.
And
so,
it's just a freaking... It's just a big part of tabletop games.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like one of the most important. I'd say it's one of the most successful.
It's like talking about shooters and not talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah. Sounded like I missed it. Yeah, Sinatra, you got here just
right
a little late,
at the end
man.
of it,
Right
buddy.
at the end. But yeah, we talked about tabletop games and stuff. The VOD will be up here on YouTube here in like fucking 5 to 10 minutes after it processes or whatever and comes back up on Twitch. So you can watch the VOD here. I'll also re-upload it on YouTube. But it'll be on Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music later tonight. Like this night, since it's Saturday. If we record on Saturday, I try to put it up as quick as possible on Saturday. So it'll be on there. YouTube will get the re-upload middle of the week sometime, Wednesday, Thursday. But yeah. So again, thank you guys. I waited forever after he gets there and get going. 3 with my brother. On D3 with my brother. He's talking about Diablo. He's playing Diablo, I guess. But, anyways, thank you, though, for coming out, man. And also, I see a follower on my Twitch as well. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Anyways, yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh. Peace!
Alright, guys, for those of you on Twitch, again, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for the follow. ZDragon7, I appreciate the follow, bro. Sinatra5, thank you for coming, man. I'm sorry you were late. This weekend we were just a little hectic with schedule and stuff, so we didn't really know when we were going to go live or do it either. We just knew we'd do it. So, thank you guys, though, for watching. Zenith War, thank you for coming out as well, dude. And I'll be streaming later. I'll be streaming my scary game later. We'll be streaming Soma. So I'll see you guys then.
Peace!